Welcome to Genuine Coder, guys. In this video I'm going to show you how to use the JavaFX TreeTableView in your JavaFX program. And the JavaFX TreeTableView is a combination of both the table view and a tree table structure. So in this case I'm going to use a symbol and single column in order to make things simple, and this is our table, and inside that table we can create our tree-like structure. So this is very useful for displaying complex data sets which are not possible with the table. So when I switched from Swing to JavaFX, I found it is extremely hard to implement this table. So I thought it will be easier for you if I make a tutorial on using the tree table view. So I'm going to start a new project. I'm going to keep this project as simple as possible. So I'm not using the JavaFX application, I'm going for JavaFX XML application and tree table view. So now we got the files, and this is a project tree table view, and I'm going to start by designing it using the scene builder. So I have given the request for opening the scene builder, and it is going to take some time. And here we go. So we got the fxml document. Of course we don't want this button and label. I'm going to remove that, delete. Then you can find the tree table structure by searching here. I mean, there is tree table view. So this is what we want, tree table view from the FX8 package, and I'm going to copy and drag and drop it right here. And it contains C1 and C2, which are two columns. I will explain how to use more than one column in the next tutorial, and in order to make you understand the basics, I'm going to remove the column C2 for just now. If you want to add an extra column at this level, you can actually add that by dragging and dropping right here. So we got three columns, and I'm going to remove these two columns, and I just want the C1. You can of course change the width of C1, I mean the columns, using the scene builder itself. You can give the structure, so column. That's pretty cool, right? And you can see how it will look like once you inflate it with the data. So this is how it looks like when we actually do the coding. So let's go back to the code now. Before that, I want to give some variable names. So tree table view, in the code section I'm going to give a name, let it be table view, and for the column I am going to give column 1, so let it be column 1. Then I'm going to the project, opening the controller and making the variable visible here. Okay, there is no handle button action since I removed that. There is no label either. Okay, it's cool. Now what we have to do is, let's build this project, right? So we have a root element, and inside that root element there are two other roots which contains this. It is not root, it is a tree item, and it contains the NASM and assembly text, and inside this high level there are three other children, so Java, C++, .NET. So first let us build some tree items, and it can be created using tree item, and the object is of course string. So tree item item 11. Item 11, by 11 I mean the lower level NASM. So in order to make things simple, item L1 equals new tree item, tree item, and inside that I am going to pass the string value, which is of course the NASM. And I need one more tree item, which is the assembly. So now we got the NASM and assembly, and as you can see, the container of these two languages is the lower level one. So I am going to create another tree item called not item L2, let it be parent1, and in that parent one I'm going to give the low level languages. And the next thing that we can do is we have to add these two elements, to TreeItem, to this parent, and that can be done using parent1 dot get children dot set all, and I'm going to add the item L1. I'm sorry, it's itel, that doesn't matter, itel, and L2. So we got the NASM and assembly under this low level language tree item. So we just created this branch of the tree, and next thing we have to do is to create another tree item for the high level languages, and I am going to give the item h1 equals new tree item, and let that be C++. Of course I want Java, and I'm going to give some kind of Python. Okay, and it is not h2 h3. Just like before, we need a container, or we need a parent for these three items, C++, Java, and Python, and let that be high level languages, and that is parent 2. And the only thing that is missing is the root element, the root element which contains these high level and low level nodes. So that can be created just like this, tree item string, and I am going to call that root equals new tree item, and it is programming languages. So we have just created the tree, and we have added the first parent, and we have to attach the second parent to its children. So item h1, item h2, item h3. Then we have to attach these two, parent 1 and parent 2, to this root. So I'm going to do that right here, root dot get children dot set all to some kind of it's parent 1, parent 2. Now we are all set. The tree structure is successfully created at this point, and the last thing, the next thing that we have to do is to attach this root to our table view. So before that, we have to tell what kind of data we are displaying in the table view. So I'm going to display the string. All of these values are strings, and in each column I am displaying string values. So I'm going to set that string right here too, and so table view dot set root, and by using this function set root, we can attach this root function, root element, which is the TreeItem programming languages. And it's look like okay, but the one thing that we are missing is the column, and there are only two things that you have to define when you use a TreeItem. The first thing is what you are displaying in the column 1. In case in the tree table column 1, we have to define what is being displayed, whether it is string or integer or something like that, and then you have to give the actual value. By setting the table view dot set root, we have actually given these three nodes to the table, but we haven't defined what we are actually displaying in our function. So this one is the little bit complicated part in this one, in the whole program. So I'm going to simplify that. Set CellValueFactory, and this CellValueFactory is used for setting what kind of value we are displaying, and you can see that it takes a callback method, and I'm going to create a new callback, and the NetBeans will automatically create the callback method for us, and that's it. And it is now throwing new unsupported operation exception, so I'm going to just remove that. And as you can see, the thing that we are displaying in this code is just string. So we can use new symbol string property. So you might be wondering why I am using the symbol string property rather than going for new string. And this one, the peculiarity of this symbol string property is that it is a observer, it will return an observer value. So I hope you are familiar with the observer value. For those who are not, this observer value will allow you to observe for the changes in this tree item. Suppose if you are changing the C++ to some kind of C++, 3 pluses, then the table will be automatically updated when you change the value. Because in Swing, in Java Swing package, Swing UI framework, we have to update the table each time when we change the data. But in JavaFX, we can actually bind the value with the table, so that whenever we change this, it will automatically update the table. So that why we are using symbol string property. If you want to display an integer value, then there is a symbol integer property. So that's about the thing. So symbol string property, and the value that is going to display is coming in this variable, so that is param. I'm going to use the param dot get value, so it will get a tree item, and inside that tree item we are actually getting a function. So param dot get value, and we have to return it. We haven't defined the return function, so return new symbol string property, and there is a callback. And we can use lambda expression in order to make this one looks simple, but that's it. Okay, now let's run the code. So that's it. We got the column, and we have set this using scene builder, and we got the root element, which is a programming languages, and there are lower level languages and high level language. Of course, like before, it will support the sorting function, and lower level language, inside that we have NASM and assembly, and in the high level language we have Python, Java and C++. So that's about the simple operation in the JavaFX, and I have to show you what I meant by the observer value for those who have some difficulty in understanding. So I'm going to use a button in order to change the value of one tree item. Suppose when I click on a button, I want to change this text Java to some other value, so that we can see that the table automatically updating. So I'm going to add a button here. So I got a button, and when I click on the button, I want to load a function make change. So that was on the fxml. I'm going to create the controller, so make change. When I click on the button, what I'm going to do is I'm taking this item h2 and setting the value to Java is the best, and let's see whether the table is automatically updating. So I'm going to run the program. I got the programming languages, lower level languages and high level languages, and I'm going to press this button, and you can see that the Java is the best, and the tree item automatically updated in the table. So that's it, guys. That was a long video, I think. Thank you for watching this video. In the very next video, I will show you how to implement a complex JavaFX TreeTableView. And as always, like the video if you like it, and subscribe for more cool videos.